Okay, so
We're gonna make it work.
we're gonna pop that, then we're gonna pour it into the glass, and then we're gonna say cheers, and that's how we're gonna get started.
No, you can say welcome to the champagne side now, and then I'm gonna be like, it's episode 1.
Okay.
And we get to get started with a great bottle of champagne.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Welcome to the champagne side. We're so excited to be here.
Yay, episode
this
1.
is episode 1. Hopefully
Getting
the most
started.
iconic episode ever.
I don't know. Maybe so.
We are praying that this works out.
Please comment, like, share.
Subscribe.
All of the
use
things.
every
Press the
fucking
buttons.
platform ever
Yes.
to help us out.
So it is the champagne side, but you can see we don't have our glasses filled because I wanted to give a shout out to my sweet friend, Mary Soul. She got us this beautiful bottle of champagne for our first
excited.
episode.
Yeah, she's so sweet for
I
that.
know,
I appreciate
so
that.
sweet. All right,
So
I'm gonna open
nothing better to do than pop it with you guys.
Look at how cute the little
It is so cute.
This is the kind of bottle of
They can't hear you, honey.
this is the kind of bottle of champagne I would not spend the money on.
Oh, wow. They definitely heard that pop. Okay, this is so fun.
So fun. Yay. All right, and then we're going to do a cheers once I get these filled up. So
Spills it all over my marble white table. I'm just kidding. Could you imagine?
yeah, I've spilled red wine on your carpet before.
Okay, true. Wow, perfect pour. So nice.
I've done this a few times, possibly today already.
Oh, you're still filling it up. Yeah. Fill it all the way up because a bitch is going to be drinking for the first episode. Like, okay.
All right.
Babe's got her
cheers.
microphone back. Cheers to
Cheers.
the champagne side.
Yay.
Aw.
So fun. Mm.
Oh, that is so good.
This is a good bottle.
Wow.
Aw, thank you, love.
Thank
Cheers
you.
to you, Mary
That's
Saul.
so good. I love that. So anyways, let's get started. I'm so
Yay.
excited. So episode 1, the champagne side. Let's go ahead and start with, why are we called the champagne side?
Yeah, perfect. Great question. So if you are a West Central native, or I guess you don't have to be a native, but if you live in West Central, you've probably heard wine side and champagne side.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So now we're going to fill everybody else in. We have the wine side, which is a little bit closer to downtown. And then we have what's called the champagne side, which I did not know until I lived here. So
Right. When you moved in, right?
Yeah. When I first moved in, actually, when I first moved in, I was on the wine side because we rented a duplex on the corner of Union and Wayne.
Right.
And then we
Which
bought
is beautiful
a home.
on that corner.
Oh, it is. It's great. We had a cute little yard and everything. It was fantastic. So then we bought a home on Wayne between Thiem and Nelson. And when we bought that home, a friend that lives in West Central was like, oh, you guys are going to be on the champagne side now.
You're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. And then he was just like, I don't know, it's just called the champagne side. So it's a little bit quieter over here.
Right, yeah.
So
maybe a little less rentals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's families all over. It's a big neighborhood, so I obviously am not too familiar with every single house in person. However,
it's a little bit quieter. It's
it
a
is
little
a
more
little bit quieter. There's a
homey.
little more kids over here running around,
I
which
mean,
I
it's
love.
not a big neighborhood anyway. But yeah.
But yeah, I
So
love
that's the champagne side.
I love the champagne side. What?
So one of the first things that
Are
I
we
told
being
you
told
guys.
to slow down?
We are.
Sorry, guys. Are we a
We're
little too
talking
fast?
too fast.
It's our first episode. Give us slack.
It's our first episode, but not our first bottle of champagne today.
That's
Let's
probably
be really
why
honest.
Audrey and I are like, if we're gonna do this, we need to be like loose.
Yeah. Loosey goosey.
No, I'm so excited though. So yeah, that we live on the champagne side.
One of the first things I told you guys was
Right.
you're on
When
the
we
champagne
moved
side.
in, you were like, you're on the
Yeah.
champagne side. Welcome to the champagne side. And when we talked about doing this podcast, which has been a while, but hasn't been a while because 2025 came and I was like, if we're going to do it, we need to do it now. So
Literally.
here comes the new year.
Yeah.
Here comes the podcast. Let's get everything rolling. Let's get the production team for the video.
Huge
Let's
shout
get all the
out to you.
equipment.
I mean, a ton of it. So like we did some brainstorming on, because Reece and I combined know a lot of people.
No, we do. And I
We
was
know a
like,
lot of
this
people.
is a great opportunity. Not only do we live right next to each other, spoiler alert, and we live in the Champaign side of West Central, spoiler alert, why it's called the Champaign side, but we also know a lot of people. So you put both of us together and it worked out so well in our connections that we had and getting people on here to interview and scheduled. And it was like, why are we not, which is why we talked about it. We were like, why are we not doing a podcast downtown? Nobody talks about everything that's going on downtown.
Right. So that's exactly it. So this kind of came into our brain because living down here, we have combined so many friends who don't live in this neighborhood, and they always want to come down here, and they're like, well, what's going on? What's new? Have you tried this place? And we're like, yeah, we've been everywhere like 500 times.
But that's just what comes with living downtown.
Correct.
Though. It's
but
like
they
it's
don't,
so
but
convenient.
if you don't know, you don't know. And if you don't live down here, you're not always going and trying the new things.
And
so
aware
people
of what's
want to
going
come
on.
down. Like when I invite a friend to coffee, they're like, well, I'll park at your place and then we can walk. Everybody wants to do that. They all want that experience.
Yeah.
And we have, in Fort Wayne, we've got great food. We've got a great art scene. We've got a great like theater scene.
And it's grown
but it's typically just
drastically.
all done through social media.
Right.
But nobody's actually talking about it.
That's
and so
what
we were like, let's talk about it.
No, and that's what I was going to say is like, not everybody, I feel like my generation, not everybody watches the news. And the news is great, but it's only good when, you know, there's a grand opening, and the news only does so much and only focuses on not even, you know, on downtown so much, but there's so many social media influencers out there, which is great. So many foodies, which I appreciate and love. They should be doing that because I can now find all the new places.
Well, and which things on the menu they recommend.
Right. But it's like nobody has like a social media platform talking about what's going on like a podcast, you know? And I told Audrey, I was like, this is like the end thing right now and nobody's done it. And I'm like, and maybe there is somebody out there and we just don't know about it. But I was like, I have an idea. This is what I want to do. And Audrey's like, heck yeah. Like,
I think we're
let's do it.
entertaining.
I feel like we're entertaining. And I feel like
we entertain ourselves if nobody else listens to this.
If nobody else listens to it, we're doing it for fun.
Yeah. We'll be like, where was that place that we were talking about wanting to go? We'll just re-listen to our own episodes.
Right. No, literally. But no, that's why I wanted to get this started with you. And we agreed like we're going to move forward with it and we're going to do it.
And we've got some great people on the lineup.
We do. And I'm so excited for this season.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I just love telling, like, I'm so passionate about living downtown.
Oh,
like
100%.
Everybody asks. Well, maybe they don't even ask, but I'm like, I always talk about downtown. I always talk about everything new that's opening up. I go to all my family and friends and talk about it. And I just love our city and what everybody is doing for our city and all of the private investors and local people that are building it and growing it. And not just people that are coming in from Chicago or Indy. You know, a lot of our development is from people that are local.
Correct.
And that is one thing I love. So I'm excited to come on here and talk to you guys about everything and all the happenings downtown and showcasing our favorites
and the behind the scenes. So like we have some like real estate investors on our show. We have
what I was gonna say.
Restaurant owners. We've got oh my gosh, we've got realtors coming on. We have West Central natives coming on. We have people who move from country into West Central and like all the different perspectives and what makes Fort Wayne so great.
Right.
Which actually
specifically downtown. Yeah.
And you were talking about like local business. We're huge on local business.
Yes.
Like I'm a small business owner, which this is a great segue into like you and I as individuals. So I think, you know, for you guys to know who we are, which I mean, we know a lot of people. A lot of people probably already know what we do because Fort Wayne, although it's big city, it's definitely a small town. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Audrey Anderson and I am a small business owner here in Fort Wayne. And I work from home. I am a fitness behavior change coach. So I've basically married.
She's skinny and beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody wants to be Audrey.
That's not true, but I do think that there is.
I'm just kidding,
like,
though. You're amazing at what you do.
Thank you. I think that there's the lifestyle that people are like, how does that come so easy? And so I help. It doesn't come easy. It's choices and patterns of behavior and habits.
Right.
And so that's what I teach busy professionals to do. So I work with primarily men and women between ages of like 35 and 55 who are like maybe at a heightened spot in their career, but maybe they have kids and they're super busy.
Right.
And they're like, how do you make time for yourself? Because I don't even know who I am anymore.
Right.
I've lost sight of my dreams. And so I step alongside them and I help them reprioritize. I help them.
I love your videos you post on Instagram, and they're like videos of your clients talking.
Oh, thanks.
About like their program they did with you and how much they've improved and what their successes were. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. I've had a lot of men and women come to me who are literally like, I'm about to have a fucking mental breakdown.
Right.
I also feel fat. So
they're like, I need help.
What can you do? And it's like, I will help you with the mental side of things, and we're going to get your body to follow suit.
Right.
So that's basically it. So a lot of people are like, you're like a weight loss therapist. Yes and no. That's an easy way of putting it. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me and what I do.
Didn't one of your clients just move into the bought the Castle Gallery?
Yes, one of my.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so fun.
Little downtown oriented here. One of her clients bought the Castle Gallery that just sold. Mark owned it, and his
Mark Smith and his late wife.
Yep. And they just sold that. Yeah, and that your client bought it.
Yeah, so she bought it, and I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, you're like, hello.
Yeah.
But that's fun.
My clients become my friends for sure. So yeah, I absolutely adore them. And then of course I've got like a whole slew of children that are teenagers and busy and blah, 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 blah. But
right. We're like, when do we find time to do the podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're going to make it work. It's fun for me though, because I have to have a hobby.
Yeah. So
I was like, I love doing this as a hobby because I'm just like, I have to stay busy all the time. That's why I loved being in school, because I worked full time and was in school full time, but it kept me busy. And people are like, you're insane. Aren't you stressed? And I'm like, yeah, but like I live off that. I love it. But I hate like talking about my job. I love my job.
Yeah, you love your job.
I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep. I'm in medicine. And so I am in the car traveling during the day to all my offices. I'm sure everybody knows what kind of job that is. So that is what I do alongside this podcast. But when I'm not working as a pharmaceutical rep, I am downtown every single day, living and eating and drinking my life away. Okay, no. That makes me sound like an alcoholic.
I mean, it might be water.
But I love downtown. So anytime I'm not working, which you know, because we spend most of the time together anyway, I'm always downtown. Yeah. And so that's why I was like, we have to start this podcast ASAP, because I'm ready to get this ball fucking rolling.
I know. Well, it's fun. So that's who we are as individuals. Then neighbors.
We're neighbors though. More importantly, welcome to the Champaign side. So I'll go, do you want me to tell my story and then you can kind of tell yours and how we met? So Hunter and I moved downtown in 2020. Yeah, 2020. We moved downtown into our first apartment at Three Rivers Apartments, which I consider a staple in downtown Fort Wayne. It will always be a staple. Yeah. It's like one of the first
high-rise
apartment high-rises, that are still around, obviously.
And they just redid them recently. So.
Yeah, they redid it right before we moved there. They had renovated both lobbies. Most of the units, I would assume probably more than 50% of the units, and they're still working on them. So we had moved downtown to a studio, and it was very small, obviously, no dishwasher. It was renovated, super cute. But obviously an older building, but we loved it. Yeah. And it definitely gave a downtown vibe. You're right there by the river. You're downtown
whenever
by the gas
do the
house.
Festivals, you can just walk
you're
right
by
there.
The festivals. You're by the deck in the summer. You're by the gas house. God, we walked everywhere. Now you're by Penny Drip. When Penny Drip opened.
Yeah, that's nice.
They opened shortly.
Think about that.
They opened maybe a year after us living there, maybe, or when we were living there. I don't know, but that's another spot that's right there by Three Rivers. And so that's where Hunter and I started. I did not want to move because Hunter's obviously not from here. He's from a very small town. So he was like, I have to live downtown, like in a big city to what was a big city to him. He's like, I'm scared. I'm like, you're
going to be
fine.
fine.
I'm like small town boy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was like, I'm not living in another apartment outside of downtown. Like we went and looked at, you know, obviously it's our first apartment together. We're only 20 years old. I'm like, we're just now getting our lives started. I'm still in college. You know, we couldn't afford an arm and a leg.
Sure.
And so we were super limited. And all those apartments that were outside of downtown Fort Wayne, I was just like, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not.
You got used to the vibe downtown.
Yeah, I'm like, I just want to be in the city. Like, if I'm not moving to Chicago, like, I'm living downtown.
Makes
like,
date night so fun and easy.
It makes everything so fun and easy.
Really
so we moved to Three Rivers. We stayed there for a while. We ended up, you know, getting our shit together, moving up in this world. Yeah. And so we ended up at Skyline.
Oh, nice. Right when they were built?
No, Skyline had opened up in 2018, 2019. Okay. So it was about 2 years old when we moved in by then. And I wanted to move in there before our wedding because I wanted it to be like, I don't know, you know how people buy homes before their wedding or something, you know, you're a couple, you're getting married. I wanted a very nice apartment to have and like something that felt like home and that we could grow together, especially when getting married. And so we ended up at Skyline in a 1-bedroom, and I love Skyline. I still recommend it as one of the top apartments in Fort Wayne. Yeah. Not only just because it's right downtown in the middle of everything, it's a skyrise. They have a beautiful, huge, like rooftop. They have an area with a fire pit. We weren't.
Had this great view.
Yes, for our 1-bedroom, we weren't as high. We still had a balcony. I want to say it was like, what floor, Hunter? Oh, okay. I guess we were high up. We were at the 11th floor. I guess. Okay. I thought we were like 8. Okay, we were high, I guess. Yeah. But we had a balcony. It was fun. It's beautiful on the inside of Skyline. It's what I think of when you think of the typical like skyrise downtown living. It's not like
it has a more big city feel.
Yeah, it's not like an apartment outside of downtown that's just like, you know, new built home, not custom, just very, you know, whatever. Yeah. But so it definitely gives the downtown skyrise feel, and I loved it. There was so many nice amenities. I feel like now there's more apartments downtown that are built like the Pearl and, you know, Riverfront at Promenade, and they've grown, I feel like. So they have a pool, you know, gyms and rooftops and different amenities rather than Skyline, but nothing gives the same feel as like the inside of a Skyline skyrise apartment. It's just gorgeous. You guys, the kitchen is like it's beautiful. So we stayed there for a while. Then we ended up moving to a 2-bed, 2-bath because we wanted more space.
And that one was higher up.
Yes. Okay. And that was on the top floor.
Right. I remember corner you guys unit. Pointing that out to me.
It was insane. I remember.
That's where the beautiful green Christmas tree went.
Yes. Okay. The outside Christmas tree that everybody called us when they would come into downtown because they could see it on our balcony. It was fluorescent because you can see Skyline wherever coming into downtown because it's tall. But yeah, we wanted more space, so we moved to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. But I told the management or whatever, I had emailed them, and I was like, this is the unit I want. When it comes available, let me know, because we want more space. But I will not settle for another unit. I want that corner unit on the 12th floor that overlooks the rooftop Indiana Michigan Power Building. Yeah. And then the new Pearl Building so being built by the Landing.
View. Like you're paying for the view.
And it was so pretty, and I loved it, and I still miss it, even though I love living in West Central, and I love our house, and I know Hunter loves it way more than the apartment, but I just, like, we would walk outside all the time and just, like, walk out the door, be right downtown, walk to breakfast, go to Ruth Chris and get a drink, go to the bars. Like, it was just so nice. Your entire relationship has been downtown. Our entire relationship has basically been downtown.
You can't ever leave.
I know. We saved up money, and we were like, we're moving downtown, and we have not left and don't plan on leaving.
You can't leave now.
So that's when we ended up
You're moving. Stuck here. We have a podcast.
No, literally. Now we have a podcast about downtown, and we literally are stuck. We can't move. But we ended up obviously getting the house we live in right now because we wanted to live in West Central. We actually toured your guys' place that you live in now. Didn't get it because you got it. And we ended up getting the one literally right next door. How ironic. It was so weird how it played out.
3 layers of brick on the other side of the
right
stairs.
Over there. Wah, wah. But isn't that weird how that works out? I feel like people don't understand. I'm like, no, like I looked at that one and then we got one literally 3 layers of brick next door.
But this one wasn't even listed.
No, it wasn't. She had reached out to us privately because she knew that we wanted to live downtown.
Right.
And Jamie,
my landlord,
was like, hey, I know your place is vacant. You don't use it much. Like, these boys do want to live downtown if you're open to giving it to them, you know? And she was like, okay. And she reached out, let us tour it. And I was like, without a doubt, after looking at it, I was like, I didn't even tell Hunter. I was like, I'm not even asking Hunter. I know I want this. Yeah. I was like,
that's beautiful.
I was mean, I'm living here. I looked at her and I was like, yep, we'll take it. And she's like, okay, you can move in this day. And I was like, okay. So we had to break our lease at Skyline, which was unfortunate because I loved it there. And it was also a fortune to break the lease at an apartment. But it was so worth it. And then we met you. Yay. And it's just like, everything works out and everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. So I'm so happy that we got this unit. You got that unit. We met each other. It's like everything was meant to be, which is so like cringy to say, but it's like, no, it's weird.
But then when you actually hear people's stories, like it's hard to deny that.
Right.
Like, especially if you're an optimistic person, like we're both pretty optimistic.
Right.
So it's like, no, I can totally see how like even through disappointments, there's like silver linings everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the way.
It's just like weird when you look back because you're like, we lived Skyline downtown.
Yeah.
We would walk through this neighborhood all the time dreaming to live here and just like look at everything. And like one day, like we're going to live there. We're going to rent a house there and then we're going to buy a home there. And that's like where we're going to be. And then you had renovated this house with your husband and what was going on there. And then, you know, things happened and you had moved to here and you were looking at the same time we were looking and you get that one and we get this one. And it's like,
and
what?
I couldn't have fit in this one. I mean, the downstairs is larger, which would have been great.
Right.
But you're only 2 bedrooms and a sunroom.
Because this unit, I mean, we live in the biggest unit in the row homes, but they did renovations and knocked down some bedrooms and made some huge bathroom and walk-in
but the sunroom isn't like weatherized, so like I could not have made that a bedroom, and I have to have 3 bedrooms. Right. Whereas mine is a smaller unit, but it's 3 bedrooms.
The different rooms
Correct.
Upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your story though, because yours is important because you lived down in West Central longer than we have because you and your was your husband had bought a house. Yeah, I'm like, how do I word that? You can talk about it, but you guys had renovated a house. I want to hear about it. Everybody.
Yeah, okay. So like I said, we first lived on the corner of Union and Wayne, and we had incredible landlords, Casey and Mike. Okay. Shout out to them. Adore them. They walk all the time. So we probably would have bought that if they were selling when we were buying, and we probably would have renovated that because we loved that duplex. Yeah. But the attic up there was amazing. But what ended up happening was we talked to our friend who was a realtor, and he was like, actually, there's this house. I think we were actually like in Valpo visiting my family. And he called and he is like, you have to be here at 10 a.m. to look at it. Otherwise it's going on the market and you won't get it. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So we like literally packed up and left like hours before we were supposed to leave.
Right.
And we walk into this beautiful home on Wayne. It's like 3 in from Theme, and there was carpet throughout. It was beige everywhere. All of the, like, it needed love. Like the bones were good, but it needed some love.
Which is what's so special about West Central, because a lot of these homes do need love because they're old and this neighborhood's up and coming.
There was no front porch, which is a mandatory thing for me. Like I was looking at it. I'm like, it's an enclosed, teeny tiny, like 5x7 porch. So we were like, okay, we're gonna make it happen. Granted, the realtor that showed us around lives in West Central.
Okay.
Excuse me. And he did renovations to his home. So he was like, you actually have the space. You could put it on a porch. So we kind of had the insight there.
Right.
Which
on
was
like
helpful.
What you could do. I'm like looking out the window at your house right now. Your old house. As you talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah.
West Central home.
Yeah. So spoiler, anybody who doesn't know what house we're talking about.
It looks like it belongs in Key West, Florida.
It's the Key West blue home on Wayne Street towards the river.
Yeah, it's not because the color I thought it was going to be.
Audrey, that was so funny when you told me that story. You're like, yeah, I came home. They were painting my house. The whole house was almost done by the time I got home.
I was like,
and it was Key West blue. And you're like, it's fucking staying there.
Yeah, don't care anymore.
And then the owner that bought it now, she loved the outside of the house.
Like, that was one of the things that attracted her to it. So again, everything happens for a reason.
Right. There you go.
So yeah. So we bought that house and it was a great price. I mean, it was a freaking steal. Now we had to put a ton of work into it. So we took out, like a construction loan and put another like 100+ into it. And it was exactly what I wanted it to be. I mean,
it's gorgeous.
I had
inside.
hand painted Moroccan tile in it. Our contractor was amazing.
You left the like West Central charm to it still.
Yep.
Like all the natural wood, the staircase.
Wood. We had beautiful pillars. My brother and I redid all of the wood floors.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really, really, truly.
I remember seeing photos when you showed me and I was like,
I know.
But everything works out for a reason because
we had a great yard.
Which is
not normal in West Central.
No.
We had a great yard.
Fenced
we were able
backyard.
to put in like 16-foot slab for a basketball hoop for the boys, which was amazing. We actually have our handprints in it. So please
forever
don't
there.
Ever take that out without giving it to me. I'll cut it out myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no.
Yeah.
And you had a garage back there. Like it was a perfect setup. Really is.
Yeah. And then I got a divorce.
And then she got a fucking divorce.
Yeah.
And when I met Audrey, one thing she said to us was, you can decide if you want to be friends with me.
Hitch your wagon to mine because a lot of people
I was
hate
like,
me.
I'm going to hitch my wagon to her the fuck.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But,
oh gosh. So basically I say the kids and I were misplaced for 7 months. So after the divorce.
And the landlords knew that, and they were like, she needs to be back in West Central.
Yeah.
She just, and your landlords actually buy homes and redo them.
Yeah, they do.
So they understood your work and we get it.
We saw them ripping things out of here when I lived there.
Okay.
They were renovating this.
Yeah.
So we would walk by and wave and say hi.
Right.
We didn't know them, but we were like, oh, yay, they're doing some work on that.
You're like, yeah, you remember me with my kids and my family? Yeah. I'm back. I need your house.
Yeah, basically. So we lived over by the zoo, which nothing wrong with that side of town. It's just not my side of town.
It was not. I didn't even know you, but now I'm like,
no way.
That's not
I lived
you.
in the back of a ranch on Sherman.
No, never.
You
in a
could
million
see
fucking
the last
years.
of Handy Dandy from my
Hell
front yard.
Fucking no.
Not me.
Your kids are like, can I have a slushie, Mom? I'm gonna walk to the gas station.
Actually, my dumb dog ran over there all the time. I was like,
oh, Gary. She is crazy.
She's a West Central. People know who she is, unfortunately. But so we lived over there for 7 months and actually had some issues with my landlord over there. So I won't name him by name, but was not a fan. And so then I was looking for places around, and on the most random website ever, which I don't know that I've ever asked you this, but how did you hear about
Zillow?
I did not see it on Zillow.
I'm on Zillow religiously.
So was
Not that I'm looking for a new place, but I'm nosy as fuck.
So was
and
I.
so I'm always on Zillow, and I was like, ooh, Hunter, because
I did not find it on Zillow. I found it on a website called hotpads.com. I've never even heard of that before.
I would correlate that with kitchens.
I know.
Why,
I was like, what in the world? So I
weird.
saw it and I was like, this has to be a joke.
No, we saw it on Zillow.
So I found Jamie's name on the listing and I looked her up on Facebook. Kind of stalked her a little bit on Facebook.
Who doesn't?
I was like, is this a legit person? Is this a real listing? Reached out to the number and I was like, I will do whatever it takes. I have to come look at this. And so I actually brought my kids and
because you toured it the same day as us, but before.
Yeah, well, they just did one day. Yeah, she was like, we're only giving tours on this one day. And we have 3 or 4 different people looking at it.
She was very specific about who they chose to.
Yeah.
Which
good for them.
I love about
that.
West Central because if they do have, most people, if they do have rentals, they're very particular
which
about
is good. That's what keeps our neighborhood
it's private landlords, which I like.
So we went in and I thought for sure the kids were going to nix it. because their bedrooms are so tiny, so tiny.
Oh, yeah.
But we walked into the master, and my sweet boy sees the master bedroom, and he goes, "Oh, wow, Mom, you deserve this." And I just about melted because of the year that we had. It was just a really hard year.
Yeah.
And Josiah was like, "Mom, you deserve this." And I was
so Audrey made a sob story.
I did. I pulled my best Elle Woods. If you know, you know. And I made a submission video.
I was like, oh, so that's why you got it and we
Guys,
didn't.
I highly recommend
Hunter and I get
this.
everything.
I know. Well, I never win anything. I feel like I won something. I won the lottery with this one.
You did. And I'm so happy you got it. And then everything worked out for a reason. So like I said, when
I had to break my lease too. But we moved in, and literally the first day that we pulled up in my awesome hot mom-mobile, my Honda Odyssey.
The Honda minivan.
We pull up and Josiah goes, "Man, it feels good to be home." And I just cried because, like, if anyone listening has been through a divorce or like a serious breakup and you have kids, the weight of their happiness and their comfort, like, it weighs so heavy on your mama heart or your papa heart. And so hearing him say that and just feel like we were home.
Right.
Oh my God, it changed everything. It just changed the whole trajectory. Sure. And so here we are. Oh my God, almost 2 years, 3 years, 2 years.
We moved in 2022.
Are we?
Oh my God, we're going on 3 years.
3 years in
Wait,
March? No, 2.
No, we moved
2
in
years.
20. When did we move here? 23?
It had 123.
We moved in here in 23.
It has not been 3 years.
We're going on 2 years.
2 years.
Because we're about to sign our lease again, probably, because I don't want to leave. Even though me and Hunter like really do need to buy a house, but I'm like, I know. I'm like, I don't want to leave here. Maybe, I don't know. We're just honestly going to like.
have to be in West Central.
We are. We're just going to figure it out, buy a house, but we're just going to stay here until either we can hopefully buy this one.
I'm never leaving.
Or we're going to have to just buy a home in West Central and wait for one to come on, which might be a while, which is okay because we love where we're at right now. And I honestly wish I could buy this home because it's absolutely gorgeous.
It is
but
gorgeous.
We're young and we need to build equity and
Again,
we need to buy a home. But anyway,
everything happens for a reason.
More of the story. We don't need to talk about that. It's off topic. We want to talk about downtown and the Champaign side.
Well,
we met when we were moving in that day, basically.
So I moved in March. You moved in April.
Yes. So a month right after you were kind of just now settling in when we had moved in for the first time. And a lot of chaos going on. Audrey comes outside looking beautiful than ever. Freshly washed hair, now that I know you. Yeah. Lululemon outfit, sunglasses on. Comes up to me like I'm the fucking scum on the bottom of her shoe.
Stop it!
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Audrey. Who's moving in here? I'm like, me, bitch.
I know you had such a bad impression of me.
I thought you were.
I
told Hunter, I was like, I'm either gonna love this bitch or I'm gonna fucking hate this bitch. And of course, I love you now, so I can say that. But I was like, oh God. But
judging a judgerson.
I am always like, okay, I'm like the first to judge.
Well, but okay, so those of you watching this or listening and know me, you know that like I'm just not that, like I'm not always put together. You just happened to meet me when I looked good.
Right. No, yeah. Okay. Anyway. Ooh, the sun is like sunning right now.
It is. Golden hour.
I'm like,
and then so we were neighbors for like a week.
So fast forward, you had got home. It was kind of in the evening time. Hunter and I were sitting on the porch. We had just bought like our front porch like furniture because it's such a big deal we learned around here. So we had purchased that, and you were like, no, Hunter had reached out.
Audrey,
I have something to tell you.
I want to tell you.
Because he knew the person that bought your house because she came in the dealership because she has a Jaguar, and Hunter obviously works at Jaguar Land Rover and sells cars there and stuff. So she had came in and she was like, yeah, I just bought this house, or this is where I'm at. And Hunter's like, oh my God, she's our neighbor. And so we put two and two together.
Oh my gosh, I just met her for the first time. And then he made another comment unrelated to her, for the record, unrelated. And I was like, oh my God, let me get my wine. I am coming over because I am going to talk to you.
Right. And that was you were like, that's when you were like, you can either hitch your wagon with me or you don't have to, because I don't know if I'm like this neighborhood.
He was like, I've been
Moral
through
of the
a
story,
lot.
let's be real.
I've been through a lot in this neighborhood.
But no, I was like, I loved you, and I was like, I don't care what anybody has to say about you. I was like, I love you, and I'm here for you. And now that I'm like, I know you so well, and we've been such good friends, I'm like, everybody loves you.
I think it was just a weird time in my life.
I felt like we're like, I'm hated in West Central basically because of everything
divorce
that
is
happened.
Super awkward. People take sides. It's weird, and like you just don't know.
And I was like, no. I was like, Audrey, and even if anybody hated you, I was like, they can fucking hate me too. I don't care. I'm the new kid in here. I'm like, what do I have to lose, honestly?
That's true.
But no, everybody loves you.
Aww.
I feel like we have a good reputation around here, Hunter and I feel like we do. I mean, we talk to everybody. Everybody calls us the boys, you know. We did the home tour now this past year.
That's true.
Everybody knows where we live, and we still get outed at grocery stores and places. But I loved it.
Part of the reason why we wanted to do this is like...
Right. Not enough is said.
Not enough is said. Everybody is nosy. Like, let's be real. You guys are watching this and listening to this because you want to know, right? So everybody wants to know.
Because we're cute and entertaining.
Well, and the reason why the Home and Garden Tour does so well is because
everybody want to know.
Homes.
Yeah.
They want to be in the know. Like, whether you are a new build person and that's what you really like, cool, good for you. If you enjoy architecture and history, then you're down here for the Home and Garden Tour. Because
well, I'm sorry that you can live in a new build neighborhood on the outside of downtown Fort Wayne, but I'm sure everybody appreciates a beautiful, redone, historical home. And
just rich history, especially the row homes have a rich history.
And that's why I wanted to do it, because we were told nobody on the row homes
has been in the tour for what, 20 years or something?
Something insane. And we're the end unit, of course, and it's very popular and everybody's curious. And I love our home. I think it's gorgeous. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, heck yeah, I'll do it. So when they asked, I was like, why not? I was like, I don't have to do it. People hire.
With already kind of a platform to be like, okay, so this is what else is going on in West Central.
So I'm like, we got to start this podcast, because I was like, everybody wants to know. And I was like, if anybody's going to do it, I want to be the one to do it.
And I want to do it.
So here we are.
Little side comments.
But literally. So we're here to showcase everything that's happening downtown Fort Wayne, West Central. Keep you guys updated on all the newest developments, investments, what's happening. Keep guests on here consecutively, whether it's every episode, every other episode, every 2 episodes.
And guys, like,
just to get you guys to know what's going on.
Do you want to talk about the anonymous inbox?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we have on our link tree on our Instagram page, you can do an anonymous email, and it truly is anonymous. Like, we cannot see.
You guys will know. It goes through SurveyMonkey.
Yeah, it's through SurveyMonkey. We have no clue. So like you could be a really nasty and harsh, and we won't know.
No, we want to know the gossip. Like, we want to be nosy too, just like you guys.
If
like,
you
we
guys
want to
tell us something thick and juicy about your neighbor, go for it.
Okay.
Or if you want to tell us like, oh my gosh, I heard that this is what's going in this building. Is that true? Like, we'll find out.
Or
we'll ask
happening.
Around.
Right.
Or if you just want to tell us where your favorite cocktail is, or your favorite night out, or whatever.
Ask us a question. Like, don't be nervous. We want to include and incorporate the community with downtown. So like, use that as a tool to say anything or ask us questions about downtown Fort Wayne. And we want to be interactive.
And then also give us a follow individually too, and then you can get to know us as individuals a little bit more. So I think, we're both on there. I'm Audrey Anderson coaching, and you're Reece and Hunter.
Yeah, like our social media is complicated.
It is, but if they want to get to know you on a personal level and not just on Champagne side. But yeah, we would love to hear from the community. We're all about, if you are a locally owned business in the West Central downtown, even like O2 basically as a whole. If you are a business owner, if you live in West Central or O2, if you're a business owner in the O2 and you want to be on the podcast, give us a shout. Like, let us know. We would love to support local.
We want, that's the biggest thing about this podcast is supporting local, focused on downtown, because not only us living in West Central and loving downtown and spending literally every day downtown
all the time,
but we want to incorporate the community and just like make this a safe space. Get on the couch, grab a glass of champagne, and let's get bubbly and let's get comfy. So let's cheers to our first episode. Hope many more to come. Look out for the guest speakers that are coming on this couch. And I'm so excited to get this season started.
Me too.
Let's take a cheers to that.
Yes.